Family. Something that should be near and dear to the heart. Yet, in the Kingdom Hearts series, it's hardly ever touched upon, save for a few exceptions. However, there is something that has been bugging me since the advent of Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep. That's right, it's time for HMK's first Kingdom Hearts Theory video, and that is the Family of Xehanort Theory. Xehanort is the main antagonist of the Kingdom Hearts series and has revealed himself with many a face. But beyond his long lifespan and assortment of vessels, HMK has a theory on what could be possible relations to his blood and the reason behind his choice of specific vessels. My theory begins with young Xehanort. If you know something about his features, young Xehanort has bangs that are swept to the side of his head and falls to the side of his face. Also, he has a peak in his hair that extends a bit off the top of his head and towards the back. Now, whose features does those resemble? That's right, Terra, one of Xehanort's vessels. And no, of course, these are just hair features and they do have different hair and eye color. But if you also take a look at young Xehanort's face, he looks very similar to Riku. But I'll get back to that in a little bit. Back to the features of the hair. Though it may seem something like something small, but it's actually something that is very staple with a few characters. A trait they share. Take Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. This character is supposed to look like Master Xehanort in his 30s, and he retains the famous peak at the top of his hair, albeit without the bangs. And now we know when Tea Xehanort became Xehanort and split himself into a Heartless and Nobody, this created Xemnas, which also retains features from Terra, including his bangs and a subdued peak on the top of his head. Now, what does this have to do with my theory? These features can prove that Xehanort can be related to a number of characters in the series, and that he may have chosen them to be vessels due to similarities and compatibility. The most important being Terra. Terra was susceptible to the darkness and in turn became a perfect vessel for Xehanort. But Terra's initial attraction to darkness may be hereditary. At one point, Xehanort may have spawned off a lineage that led to Terra's birth, and taking the approach that most Christians take, the son usually inherits the sin of the parents, or in this case, the darkness. If we keep going with this approach, this will lead to my other theory that Riku is also part, distant or not, of Xehanort's family. This may have been a potent reason why Ansem chose Riku to be his vessel, as Ansem is a form of Xehanort. In the case of Terra, my theory states that Terra may indeed be Xehanort's son. As callous as Xehanort has proven to be, Terra may have proved useless in Xehanort's initial plans and cast him aside to be with Master Ericus. This will explain two things: Terra's yearning for a father figure that he finds in Ericus, and Ericus' willingness to take in Ventus despite his rough past with Xehanort. This will also explain Xehanort's ability to connect with Terra very easily and trick him throughout the entirety of Birth by Sleep. With the similarities between young Xehanort and Riku's face, and with Riku's entrance and acceptance of the darkness, it would make sense in some capacity, and it will also help that Riku's white hair is also a trait that Xehanort is synonymous with. Going even further into traits, some might say that Aiza or Saix may be a part of Xehanort's family because of his hair formation, the bangs and the subdued peak in his hair, but most will argue this is because of him being a vessel of darkness and housing a portion of Xehanort's heart within him, changing his features. But in contrast to that, Xigbar or Braig has housed Xehanort's heart longer than he has, and its features have not changed beyond eye color and slight hair color. Xehanort needed 13 strong beings in order to complete his 13 darknesses, and many of them proved to be unsuitable, so it would make sense that his relatives would prove to be more suitable and more compatible. This may be the particular reason why Xehanort opted to have different versions of his own self in order to make up the difference, although Aiza and Xigbar have been confirmed to be among his ranks. And this may lead to the initial interest in Riku dating back to Riku being a vessel for Ansem. Family is a subject that should be explored in Kingdom Hearts now, and it could lead to many different story dimensions and revelations within the overall lore. Now, thank you so much for joining HMK on this HMK's first Kingdom Hearts Theory video. So, If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the theory, or if you have your own theory relating to Xehanort or any of his vessels, please leave them in the comments below. So, until the next Kingdom Hearts video or the next theory video in general, I've been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.